And to talk more about that, we are joined by our guest on the show, Ambassador Anil Kumar Trigunayat. He's a former senior diplomat. Thank you, Ambassador Trigunayat, for joining me on the show. Always a pleasure to have you. Why is the Baloch Liberation Army upping the ante? I mean, they did what they did, a 36-hour siege, different claims by both sides, but now they ram another vehicle. Why are they doing these series of attacks one after the other? They were into insurgency for a very, very long time. Since, if we look at this insurgency, perhaps it started in 2003, but series of big blasts, which they generally, pace it out and do it after 6 months, keep it a low insurgency, low intensity conflict. Why are they upping the ante now?
Well, thank you, Amrit. I think that we need to understand that this is a very old problem, as you mentioned also. They are fighting for their identity, fighting for their resources, fighting for their development, and fighting against the step-brotherly treatment that they are getting from Islamabad government. And there is, that 90% of the Baloch people, or 15 million of them, living in the largest province, which is very, very critical, and really it provides a very major strategic advantage to Pakistan, which it negotiated with major powers in the world, because it's a strategic location, and it accounts for 43% of geography of Pakistan. And these people have been marginalized. There is no development worth the name. The Sardari system and complicit with the government of Pakistan. And consistently, they have been marginalized. And therefore, it is the pent-up frustrations with the way they are being treated.
No, so my question is, yes, what you say is true. All these problems exist. They have existed for the past 75 years. We've seen 4 or 5 waves of insurgency. If we want to call this the 5th one, which started roughly around 2003, and then Nawab Akbar Khan Bugti got killed by Pervez Musharraf and his army. And, then it went down south. It has various elements to it. But why this stepping up of the attacks at this period? Why now do it? Because generally their strategy is attack the Pakistani army, then lie low, because then now the Pakistani army will go after the BLA and perhaps want to finish their armed cadres.
Well, I think that this has always been the case with Pakistan, and that's why they have tried to, stop this insurgency by using force, and that has not worked in the past 80 years nearly. So I think that what is the problem? Right now, they are also looking that there is Pakistan-Afghanistan issue is quite rabid at the moment. You know that Afghanistan-Pakistan relations are at the moment at the worst stage. And likewise with Iran and Pakistan. So they are thinking perhaps, which are located in both in Iran and Afghanistan and in Balochistan, that they think this is an opportune moment for them to go. And besides there have been a coalition of these major groups there, which is called BRAS now. And so they feel that there is a strength. They want to go and convey a message that they want. First they started with autonomy, now they want independence, the liberation from this. Now that is something that is understandable, because they feel that the marginalization is nearly complete for them. The resources that are being taken away are not coming back to the place. All the budget, I was listening to one of the TV, I think on your channel, some other channel, a Pakistani minister was saying that the budget goes to Sardars. It does not go to any government there to do any developmental work. So the people are frustrated, and their frustration is expressed in this manner by them. And who is going to protect, and who's the main counter?
But I thought, Ambassador, this state-Sardar relationship has continued since the British times. The Brits also dealt with the Sardars and, weaned them away from their tribes. Then the successive Pakistani governments, the political elite, the military elite dealt with the Sardars, didn't always give them their fair share, sometimes put them in jails, killed Akbar Khan Bukti, did not give them an even treatment. But now I thought in this wave, it is the average, the middle class Baluchi who is joining the movement, say somebody like Marang Baloch, rather than the Sardars who have lost all credibility with the people.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the Sardars have lost credibility because they have not channeled the funds that they have been receiving for the development of the ordinary people. There are no education, no hospital, no development in that place. 90% of people are below the poverty line in the country. There is unemployment. There is no, so youth is not only joining the Baloch Liberation Army, but they are also going into the TTP and other organizations which are run by Taliban. So I think that this is something that we see happening, and it is a direct result of the underdevelopment in this place and the marginalization and complete deprivation of the people for no hope at all. And therefore, the youth is now currently joining, and their cadres are increasing.
Okay.
I read somewhere, and somebody also tweeted that more and more people are taking to becoming suicide bombers. The women are also going in that. And in order to fund that, they are selling whatever little jewelry everybody had. So I think that there is a...
And the women are leading the revolution. Look at Marang Baloch. She marched to Islamabad. Sad on the part of Islamabad that the police beat her up with sticks and slapped her.
Well, this is what they are doing. Instead of addressing the main causes, they are continuing to, I would say, disenfranchise the people even more every day. And that's why this is going to be a problem which can't be resolved by force.
True.
I mean, that is for sure.
But the Pakistan state doesn't, thinks that they can deal with it militarily. Look at the 2024 elections. They put this guy called Sarfaraz Bugti as the chief minister, who does not have even the minimalistic support in the province of Balochistan, amongst the people of Balochistan.
Well, they're trying to follow the British model, I think, at the time. They just bring up somebody and put him in charge who carries their policies. And that's why there is a complete disengagement between the Baloch
political
and Pakistan
class
state. Yes.
True. Okay, what is the relationship of the BLA with the TTP, sir?
Well, I think, what they say is that they are not, their objective is basically, TTP's main objective is to Talibanize Pakistan. And as you know, Afghanistan does not recognize the Durand line. So they feel free and they consider Pakistan, a large part of it, as their own. And so they have a very different objective. As far as the Baloch people are concerned, they are essentially looking for their autonomy and independence, and they feel they are being cheated completely. They were cheated in 1948, and they continue to remain being cheated even now. So this is something that is growing. Now that you have seen that CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and more extraction of minerals, gas, which does not come back to them at all, which is not seen in the development. So that's why the more and more people are being frustrated. So to that extent. But as you know, the more and more of these kind of groups, whether separatists, extremists, terrorist groups, they have a certain kind of a collusion where they support one another, more importantly, logistically, even if they are not, in my view, politically having the same kind of an ideology. But since
yes, I thought they were fissures. I thought they were fissures between the Pakhtuns and the Balochs.
Well, there are always these tribal problems, and they will continue. This is the thing. Not only the terrain is very difficult, but the relationships are also very difficult. But you have to fight against one state. So it is like that. Let's try to patch up our differences and go and fight against that state which is extorting us completely.
Okay. But, where do you see the Baloch movement going? Because on one hand, you have the BLA and 3-4 other organizations whose vowed aim is separatism from Pakistan, using insurgency, picking up the gun. But then there are others, more educated people, more and more people who are studied in Punjab, in the colleges of Punjab and Sindh, coming back. They want to stay with Pakistan, but they say that this kind of stepmotherly treatment that you've done with us has to stop. You have to stop our inclusion from the development of Balochistan. If CPEC is there, we are good with that, but you need to involve us. Our resources cannot be looted by either Islamabad and now Beijing.
You know, with this, there is a gas field there, like field gas field, which is provides about 38% of Pakistan gas, right? So you can imagine that how much is the volume and the cost of it is, and how much gets really back to the people or the region is barely anything. So what they are asking for, I believe, is, and they are using the only thing that these kind of organization follow. I mean, because they can't protest, there are just 15 million people. They are protesting, but they're against the mighty state. It's difficult for them to do so. So
Okay.
therefore, these groups like BLA and others, which are there, 4 or 5 of them, who have got together, are continuously hitting the Pakistanis military and intelligence outfits wherever. It's a sheer failure of intelligence also on the part of like the Jafar Express and what happened today with the buses. So I believe that they are going to continue to fight, whether they are able to have the separatist movement succeed or not. But in the process, if the Pakistani state really wakes up and knows they might get greater autonomy and more resources for the development of their own people.
Okay. So, before I let go of you, there is a slightly tricky question that I am going to ask, and I ask you that because there is interest in that question. Where does India stand on that? We know what Pakistan said. It said there is an Indian hand to it. The Ministry of External Affairs denied that completely, said, well, they themselves are creators of their own problems. They are epicenter of the epicenter of terrorism in the world. In the past, to understand, in the past, what is India's position on all that? I don't know how openly you can answer that, but it'll be intellectually dishonest on our part if we don't address that question.
Well, I think that India has not propagated the separation of Balochistan.
Okay.
That is for sure. So, but at the same time, this has been Pakistan has been accusing India of something which is its own creation. It is a master of cross-border terrorism and has been doing so for the last 40, 50 years. As far as India and Afghanistan are concerned, it is not only us, but Afghanistan has also suffered the brunt for the last many years. And this has been perpetrated through the connivance and support of the Pakistan army and the deep state. So that is there. But as far as policy is concerned, I think that we do not expect, but we expect that the people there should be given their own due what is there. They, of course, the Baloch people feel that they were forcibly annexed with Pakistan and they want to separate from Pakistan. So if it happens, then one will have to see how Indian government.
But historically, we've never claimed Pakistan, even during independence, even during when Khan of Kalat was arguing, they were never an independent, they were never an Indian princely state and they were a separate country. We never showed interest in getting. Or when Oman was giving Gwadar to them, apparently offer was made to the Indians also. The Indians realized that it's too far geographically, contiguity is not there. So, our position remains the same, that Balochistan is a part of Pakistan, but they should look at the human rights of those people, their own people.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what the Indian government's stance has been. But Pakistan always, whatever is happening because of its own faults and the policy flaws, is accusing India. I mean, just to get away and try to distract the attention of the people. I mean, that has not played up, that has not helped them at all. So they have a very big challenge in different parts of Pakistan. I mean, so it's a state which is virtually on the verge of disintegration. And India has nothing to do with it at the moment. But I don't know going forward how it is going to play out eventually.
Exactly, and that would be worrisome for any country to have a failed state or a disintegrating state right on its doorstep.
Well, we have always looked for welfare of Pakistan, wanted it to be a successful country and a friendly country, but they have chosen a different path. We can't help them.
Okay, we leave it there, Ambassador Trigunayat. Many thanks for lending us your insights. Thank you.